All right, today we're going way, way down, deep inside our own cells. Because right now, artificial intelligence is starting to crack one of the most complex codes in all of biology. We're talking about the secret world of something called microRNA.
But let me ask you this first. What if I told you there were these tiny, invisible molecules inside you, and they were the master switches controlling pretty much your entire health? I mean, everything, from how you develop to your risk for major diseases. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, they're real, and they are about to change medicine as we know it. Okay, so let's get properly introduced to these powerful little things. We're diving into the world of microRNA, or as I like to think of them, biology's tiny bosses. So what in the world is a microRNA? Well, to put it simply, they're these incredibly tiny little bits of RNA, and they have one super important job. They're regulators. They're the ones who decide which of your genes get turned on and which ones get shut off. They're the gatekeepers. Let's actually follow the journey of one of these things from start to finish. It all begins deep inside your cell's nucleus. A gene gets copied, transcribed, into this kind of preliminary molecule. Then that molecule gets processed a bit and shipped out of the nucleus into the main part of the cell. And that's where an enzyme with the great name dicer literally chops it into its final mature form. And this is where the magic happens. Now that it's all grown up, this microRNA gets to work. It has two main moves in its playbook. It can hunt down a specific messenger RNA, that's the genetic instruction, and just completely destroy it. Gone. Or it can just block it so the instruction can't be read. Either way, the result is the same. The gene gets silenced. And this one little action, this is what controls so many fundamental things. We're talking cell development, metabolism, even whether or not diseases like cancer can take hold. Here's the best way to think about it. If your genes are like a giant orchestra, the microRNAs are the conductors. Or maybe even better, they're the volume knobs for each instrument. They can turn one gene way up and another one way down, creating the perfect symphony of you. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But there's a huge problem. For all their power, figuring out which microRNA controls which gene is, well, it's like trying to find one specific needle in a haystack the size of a planet. It's a massive challenge. Let's dig into why it's so incredibly difficult. You see, for decades, the only way to do this was with traditional lab work. And I'm talking incredibly slow, painstaking, and super expensive experiments. It could take ages just to map one connection. Scientists were desperate for a better, faster way to decode this incredibly important biological language.
And that is where our hero finally enters the story: machine learning. This is the breakthrough. Scientists are now training a whole new kind of digital detective that can do this work in just a fraction of the time.
So how does it work? Well, the whole process really breaks down into two main stages. First, you have a training phase where the AI learns the rules of the game. And then you have the testing phase where it puts that knowledge to work to find new stuff. Let's break that down a bit more because this is the really cool part. During training, scientists basically show the AI thousands and thousands of examples. They feed it a bunch of confirmed real microRNAs. Those are the positive examples. And they also feed it a bunch of things that look similar but aren't the real deal, the negative examples. The machine just chews on all this data and starts to learn the patterns. Then, once it's trained, you can give it a brand new molecule it's never seen before, and the model can predict, with incredible accuracy, yep, that's a real one, or nope, that's a fake. The specific type of algorithm they use for this is called a classifier, and its name tells you exactly what it does. Its whole job is to learn how to sort data into different categories. It's like a digital sorting hat. In this case, the two buckets are real microRNA and not a microRNA. And it's constantly trying to find the perfect, sharpest line it can draw between those two groups. This is a great way to picture how one of these classifiers works. This one's called a support vector machine, or SVM. You can see the two different groups of data points, right? The SVM's goal is to draw a line that doesn't just separate them, but creates the widest possible street between them. That big gap gives it a lot of confidence. And that line it draws, that becomes its rule for making future decisions. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. These are real tools that scientists are using right now. Things like triplet SVM, MyPred, Deep Target, each one is like a specialized digital detective, an expert trained for this one very specific, very important mission. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. We've got these tiny bosses in our cells,
and now these digital detectives that can find them. So what? What does all this incredible tech actually mean for you, for me, for the future of medicine? Honestly, the implications here are just huge. I mean, think about it. With tools like these, we can find the telltale signs of disease, biomarkers, way, way faster. That means earlier, more accurate diagnoses. This also blows the door wide open for truly personalized medicine, where a treatment isn't just for a disease, it's tailored specifically to your unique genetic wiring. And of course, the more we learn, the deeper our understanding of the whole human genome becomes, which lets us build way better models for creating brand new drugs in the first place. This really is a turning point. It's so big that experts in the field are literally saying, and I quote, "Discovery in mRNA has brought forth a new era in the field of molecular biology. It's this incredible combination of deep biological knowledge and the raw power of machine learning, and it is changing everything." Which kind of leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As these digital detectives get smarter and smarter, and as we learn more and more about these tiny bosses running the show inside us, could an algorithm one day just look at our genetic code and predict our future health? It's a wild thought, but that future, it might be a lot closer than any of us think.